Okay, so we I hope all of you are back. So we just talked about the cell division process called mitosis, and what we can think about now, just now I pointed out. So just think about the complexity of our mitosis process if you compare with your bacterial cell, because bacterial cell has just a single circular DNA which is showing here. So therefore, that's when the bacterial cell divides, just a segregation of or separation of DNA is not a difficult job. But when you look in our case, or in the eukaryotic cell, because there are chromosome 23 pair of chromosomes that I just mentioned, the things become so complicated. Okay, so this is just to tell you here the 23 different chromosomes that presents in our cell. In every cell we will have 23 pairs of chromosome, and just look at the how they looks like. So they are actually named based on the size. So the tallest or the largest chromosome have been designed as number 1. You can see here number 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, and they're gradually getting shorter and shorter, and up. So the shortest one will be 22 pairs of chromosome, and of course after that the last pair, the 23rd pair is a sex chromosome. So that's how it is. And when you see always this pair, why it is pair? Because one of them actually during your after fertilization, so we received one of the chromosome from the mother and one of the chromosome from the father. Okay, they are homologous chromosome. Okay, so that's how you can see always. So each and every chromosome set, we received one chromosome from the father and one chromosome from the mother. And in case of 23rd, depending on what you received, your sex will be determined. Okay, so that's how it is. So because of this 23 pairs of chromosomes that present each and every cell of your body, it is really a difficult task for cell when it will divide to separate equally, because during mitosis all those chromosomes has to equally separate, equally distributed to the daughter cell. It's not going to be an easy job. It's a very difficult task. Error can happen at any moment. Okay, so that's the regulation. So that's the class we'll be talking next week. Yes, but at this moment we are just going to explain a little more details about the chromosomes. Then we will talk about the reductional division or the meiosis, how cell division happens in your gametes, producing gametes or gonadal organs. So this is just to kind of give you idea about if you are a male or if you are a female, how the chromosome, what kind of chromosomes you will be having. Of course, both of you will have the same thing, male or female, only difference in this chromosome, the 23rd pair chromosomes. So in case of male, you have XY, is typically written like this. So 23, which means 23 pairs of chromosome, and then you again distinguish X and Y. That tells you you are a male. Okay, this is the Y. Y chromosome is the shortest chromosome, shorter chromosome, and that can even give you idea that male has less amount of genomic material, less amount of DNA than a female. And if you look at the female, all other autosomes are same. 23 pair chromosomes, here is the XX. Okay, so 2 XX chromosomes. So it will be written like this: 23 XX. That's the symbol of a female in genetics, and that's the symbol of a male. Okay, so now we can easily understand the offspring will be male or female. That typically depends on the male. Okay, so now look at how this offspring, when in the gonadal organ, how this how the chromosome number will be really maintained. Or you think when a sperm is fertilized egg and producing a zygote, it has to maintain 2n number of chromosomes. So if your organism or if each and every cell of our body has to maintain 2n number of chromosomes, then in the gonadal organ, when it produces either sperm or in ovary, in the ovum, so there must be the reduction of the chromosome number. So the chromosome number must be having n. Then only a sperm, and when a sperm fertilized egg, it again can produces 2n chromosome, right? So in the gonadal organ or in gametogenesis, in other way if I say, the process of gametogenesis that uses meiosis. So chromosome number must be 2n to n. So it's a reactional division. So now let's see how the process works. The process of meiosis. You all heard about what is meiosis. So how it works? So it has actually two stages. It's called meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. The first thing I think is clear. So during the meiosis, your chromosome, once a single cell, the mother cell will produces 4 daughter cells, and each and every daughter cell will have n number of chromosomes. So chromosome number from 2n is reduced to n. So in the first phase of meiosis, that's called meiosis 1, there are two stages, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So in meiosis 1, the 2n chromosomes actually become n, and the meiosis 2 actually is typically like mitosis. So now here is the difference. So if you recall it, I'm just trying to tell you that I'm going back and showing here in mitosis, metaphase stage, I told you all the 46 chromosomes that are lined in the equator. That's very important. And then it separates. So equally separates. So half of the DNA, half of the chromosome comes to this side, half of the chromosome comes this side. So each daughter cells receive equal amount of DNA. Now come back to the meiosis stage. So here the arrangement, I'm talking about the metaphase state in meiosis. So the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, both stages will have same like prophase, metaphase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. So each meiosis stage will have typically what we saw in the mitosis. So prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. So I'm just trying to focus on metaphase stage of meiosis 1. That's the most interesting part. So in metaphase stage of meiosis 1, there is a lineup of homologous chromosome. So you can see in this picture that if I just think red one, I told you each chromosomes come with a pair. One is from mother, we receive, and another chromosome is from father. This is just a representation of that. So just think red one maybe from father, and your gray one is maybe from mother. So these are called two homologous chromosomes. If you think this is a chromosome pair 1, just think this is a chromosome pair 1. One is from mother and one is from father. So this homologous chromosome comes and pair at the equator. So at the equator, homologous chromosome starts pairing. This is, I'm just showing you one example of one. So now you can think there is 23 pairs of such line. 23 pairs of chromosomes will be lined up. So that is the difference with the mitosis. I am repeating again. In mitosis, 46 chromosomes are lined up at the equator. But in meiosis 1, in metaphase stage, 23 pairs, homologous chromosomes are lined up together. Okay? So now we think they will be separated. So they are lined up, and at this stage, there could be a transfer of genetic material. If there is a process called crossing over. At this stage, when two homologous chromosomes are pairing together, staying together, the nearby chromosome, part of the arm of the chromosome, sister chromatids, they can exchange their part. So there could be a crossing over. This picture is showing somewhere here. So they can exchange the genetic material in this time. Okay. But anyway, after that, these two homologous pair chromosome can goes to different direction. So you can see here, maybe the paternal chromosome, the chromosome from fathers that can come this side, and the chromosome from mother can go this side. Okay, so they can be separated. So that can explain you now 2n become n now. I hope that's clear. 2n become n now. In mitosis, 46 was lined together. Here 23 are lined together. So 2n become n. That's one point. Second point, you have to remember that this is, if you just think this is a chromosome 1, so this cell, so just seeing the left side cell got the father's chromosome, and the right side cell got the mother chromosome. If you think in case of chromosome 1, now think the second could be the chromosome 2. So in case of chromosome 2, it might be reverse. So the left side cell might be getting the chromosome from the mother, and the right side cell might be getting chromosome from the father. I hope you got this point. So like this, you might think the chromosome number 3 So when chromosome number 3 will be lined up like this, so the left side cell from this side might be getting father one, the right side might be mother's one. So like this way, if you can think all 23 pairs of chromosome, you don't know which side who will go, right? So there is, you can now tell that, so in meiosis one stage, there could be a random distribution of homologous chromosome. So you don't know which side which chromosome will go. So there is a random distribution. Okay, you can understand that. Another point is, I told you there is a crossing over of genetic material, right? So there could be an exchange of genetic material between this homologous chromosome. So this is the two event, the random distribution of the chromosome and the crossing over of the homologous chromosome, between the homologous chromosome. These two events is very, very crucial in meiosis, because these are the two events will ultimately make the species diversity. I hope you understand why we are not all the same trait, same character. That tells you this. There could be huge permutation and combinations among these 23 chromosomes and then the crossing over. Okay, so each and every, if just think this is happens in case of say ovary. So each and every ovum, egg will be produced with different genetic makeup. Okay, it's very rarely you might find out two eggs will be same genetic makeup. Of course, it can be, chances are there. So that's one of the event. That's two event which will explain clearly the diversity of the species. It's from the same parent. If you have two, three brothers, they cannot be the same. That can explain this. So random distribution of the chromosome and the crossing over, that can lead to complete different kind of identity of each and every either sperm or ovum. Okay, so this is most important part. And of course, I told you how 2n become n at this stage. And then these two daughter cells, the myosin 1, will again undergo meiosis 2 stage. This stage is typical like mitosis, and same way it can divide. So each and every cell. So at the end, from the one single say cell, you get 4 different cell, and chromosome number in each cell become n. 2n to now will become n. If you think this is in case of ovary, so ovum will have each and every ovum egg will have n chromosome number. Okay. If it is your test is, then each and every sperm will have n number of chromosomes. So this is how the meiosis takes place. But I told you where is the most important part, and if you can understand that, you will amazed to think how can this kind of problem happen inside a cell. Just think how 46 chromosomes are lined up. I'm just showing in one cell. That's it. You have to see these cells under a microscope, and inside that you can think the 46 chromosomes are lined one by one at the equator during mitosis. And this process you can now see under your eyes. And that's if you see, you'll be amazed to think. When cell undergoes division, you can see under microscope. This is the thing happening. That's called metaphase plate. So all the chromosomes are in the line. I hope that's clear to you guys. So mitosis and meiosis. So now this is just much easier for you to just give
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the previous slide, sir, what is the difference between the mitosis and meiosis process? I mean, during the alignment, I couldn't understand. Alignment of chromosomes.
Okay, so you just think in our cell, each and every part of your cell. So just think a cell that is present in your hand. If that has to divide, each and every cell will have, and that part is clear, we will have each and every cell will have 23 pairs of chromosomes. 22 pairs of chromosomes are called autosome, and one pair of chromosome is called sex chromosome. I mean, that is clear, right? So if you look at this,
yes,
male or female, this is clear. Now, in mitosis stage, all these chromosomes, you see the pair chromosome, and if you think the pair chromosome, one is from mother, one is from father. That's why it's called homologous chromosome. is a chromosome number 1. Now during mitosis stage, all these 23 pairs, right? They are actually now you come independently. So there is a 46 chromosome will be lined together. If you think vertically, in the mitosis stage, if I say here, at this stage, okay, this is actually showing a duplicated chromosome. Okay, so all 46 chromosome, duplicated chromosome will be lined in the equator in case of mitosis. But in meiosis, there will be 23. There is a pair. There is a male, female. There is the homologous chromosome will form a pair. So there will be 23 pairs lined up here. That's the difference. I'm repeating again. In mitosis, 46 chromosomes are lined up. But in meiosis, 23 homologous chromosomes lined up.
So in mitosis, I mean, they are lined in the same straight line, all the 46.
Yes, all are straight. Even in meiosis also, they are straight line, but 2 chromosomes are together.
Okay, sir.
Here 1 chromosome are here. So that's the difference. That's why it's become 2n to n. Once it's separated, one cell get maybe either mother's one, other cell can be in father's one. So your chromosome number become 2n to n. So that's what I'm telling you. So this is something amazing to even think how they can be lined up all together and then can exactly separate. This is we are thinking in principle, theory, but practically it's not really happening. There are a lot of error can happen.
Sir, you're not audible.
I think someone has muted you.
Sir, yes, but
It's
your voice
very
is very
feeble.
feeble.
No, sir, like you're audible, but it is very low. I mean, yeah. No, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I hope things will be better now. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead. I have to put the slide. Okay, so you can see my slide. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where we stopped now. So this is the meiosis, and this is some of the simple things. So if you think a somatic cell, so in our body, some of the body's part, not in the gonadal organ. So that this is just to kind of give you again summarize you. If it goes mitosis, so it will be like this. So 22 into 2 plus XX if it's a female, and if it's a male, 22 pairs plus XY. That's the male. But if you're female, this is the female, right? So if female undergoes, so in gonadal organ, if it undergoes meiosis, or in other words, if a female produces egg, then in the gametes, it will be 22 plus X. But in case of male, things are different because you have XY. Once it produces sperm in your testis, in the testis, so you can think there could be 22 plus X or in 22 plus Y, right? So if the offspring will be formed male or female, that entirely depends on the male. That's what I told you earlier. So this is how it is showing here. So when the egg will be fertilized by the sperm, so the offspring that will be generated or created, so the sex of that will depend on the sex, I mean, chromosome distribution of the male. So that's quite clearly showing here. I think that's easily understandable for you guys. So this is again a kind of distinctions between, if you want to think the difference between mitosis versus meiosis, you can, it's clearly shown here. Okay, so that's now I think it's one of the important points. That's probably I'll put a little more time. So I just pointed out, if system works perfectly here, if your meiosis, I'll put more focus on meiosis. If meiosis occurs perfectly, then each and every daughter cell, I mean, it can be either ovum or it's a sperm, can get n number of chromosomes, right? That's the normal circumstances. But I mentioned you, system cannot be always perfect. There could be error at some point, which always happens. And once there is an error, generally those amniotic cells will be removed from the system. Those ovum or those sperm will be immediately dead by a process that will be mentioned is called apoptosis. But there are certain circumstances, some of the mistaken sperm or ovum can survive happily and they can fertilize and offspring can be produced, and offspring will be produced, they can be having some problem. They sometimes are perfectly normal, but sometimes the offspring might be a problem. There are many instances things can happen, and I'll give you two such examples. So this process is called non-disjunction. Okay, so if the chromosomes are not properly separated, the normal process, again go back to this picture probably, in normal process this chromosome has to be separated nicely, this homologous chromosome has to be separated nicely. Okay, but in reality sometimes things may not be able to, chromosome may not be able to separate. So sometimes some chromosome, say some cell, some egg or some sperm might be having not N chromosome, it might be having 2 N chromosome. It's possible. And some sperm or sperm ovary may not have any chromosome. One set of chromosomes I'm talking about. Okay, so don't get confused. So we have 20 when there is meiosis, when the ovum or sperm is produced, you have n number of chromosomes, right? So we have 23 chromosomes, not the pair. We have 22 chromosome, autosome, and 1 sex chromosome. If I show you here, there it is. Okay, here 22 plus X or 22 plus X or 22 plus Y. When the egg is produced or when sperm is produced. Okay, but that's the perfect way of segregation. But if there is a mistake, sometimes this gamete can have maybe one of the chromosome might be just extra, or sometimes some egg may not be having not a single chromosome, not one set of chromosome. I hope I am able to give you a clear idea. Okay, so there could be errors. Not all the chromosomes may be separated in one place, and that error sometimes called non-disjunction. It can be having a single chromosome, it can be having multiple chromosomes. But in most cases, offspring, that fertilized egg, that is not fertilized egg, that ova or egg or sperm can be destroyed. But I mentioned in certain circumstances, things can be perfectly fine. So two such example I will give you. That's very, very commonly known. So one of the example is called Down syndrome. I don't know whether you heard about it, but this is one of the common problem nowadays. So in this case, a child is born with one extra chromosome 21. That's why it's called trisomy 21. So in this Down syndrome children, this is the genotype. If you look at the normal individual, genotype is like this. So 23 pairs of chromosome we have, and then XX. So this is the female, normal female. 23 XY, this is the normal male. But if in case of Down syndrome, what I mentioned here, 24, which means there is one extra chromosome. And in this case, it is a female, male. So there is one extra chromosome, that's 21, that's marked is here. So a Down syndrome people genotype can be mentioned like this: 24 XY plus 21. So 24 means you have in this patient there is one extra chromosome. And which one is that? That's the 21. And XY tells you this is a male. If you look at the case of female, 24, XX and 21. Okay, so the Down syndrome male or Down syndrome female can be represented like this. But the most important thing is of Down syndrome, we have one extra chromosome 21. Can you believe this? One extra chromosome, 21 number chromosome. A patient, a child will be having, and that child will be born perfectly normal. And once the child will grown up, I just mentioned here, the major problem that the child will show is called mental illness. So this child will not be able to learn things properly. I'm sure many of you, that 300 students, so I'm sure some of you might have encountered Down syndrome child with some way. So if you have, then only you will realize. So a child will normally born, you will not really understand any problem, but maybe after 2-3 years, then you realize child is not able to learn things, child will not be able to contact with their parents. So it kind of problematic child. So the whole life will become problem. So in the early stage, so child will not be able to develop properly. And the serious problem is that mental illness. So what I can explain you is not be able to learn things properly, and all sorts of problem will be there. And that's called trisomy 21. And what could be the reasons? So I think why I'm mentioning is very, very important in other sense, because this is one of the problems that are now become increasingly apparent. And if I tell the reasons, then you will understand why it is. So one of the major reasons is as you become older and older, the chromosome separation capacity of a cell during that metaphase stage, once the piles are lined up, then they have to be separated. The separation time, that separation actually is become age dependent. When you are becoming young, then separation can happen nicely. But as you get older and older, the separation is not taking place properly. So age is one of the very, very crucial factor. Okay, so now you can think a female maybe want to have a baby, say at 40 years of age. Okay, so now become older. This is typically become old age. I mean, old age means with regard to what we're talking about. So if a female try to become pregnant at say 30 years of age and compare with 40 years of age, 40 years of age, a little bit older. As females become older, I told you the capacity to segregate the chromosome is become problematic, weakens. And because of that, the chance of this kind of Down syndrome is more. So in other way, I can say you, if a female want to have a baby much advanced age, the chance of having Down syndrome of the baby is much, much more. So risk of having Down syndrome is much more. Why it is so important? Because today's era, because of your job, because of your all sub careers, most people will try to have late marriage and late babies. But look at the other side, what kind of consequence you might have. Okay, so that's what I think is very, very important for all of you to know. But there is a solution. It's not that there is no solution. Of course, you have to think your career, your all sorts of things are there. But then there is a test. Once a mother getting conceived, become pregnant, you can test it. There is a genetic test that can clearly tell you that yes, the child is perfectly fine, or child might be having Down syndrome, because you know there is an extra chromosome. So you can take a sample and you can clearly see the chromosome map, whatever you saw in this chromosome. You will be able to show there is a 20 number of 21, which one is 21, there could be 3 chromosomes here. So it is very simple test. and it's very commonly done in laboratory. Okay, so that tells you, yes, you have problem, so you can abort. Because you don't want a baby which will be lifelong problematic, right? So that's the ways, but these are very good lesson for anybody should be clear about it. Now you know the mechanism. Now you know why it happens, right? Why Down syndrome can take place, and that's because of inappropriate separation of the chromosome, and there's a specific chromosome called 21. But this can happen to other chromosome. This is another chromosome I am mentioning here. This is X chromosome, X monosomy. So in this case, you can see the one X chromosome is missing. Okay, so there are a lot of problems. So this is just one example. I think Down syndrome example is perfectly fine. I think that's has a lot of implication. But you should remember the process. If there is if the normal process is getting disturbed, then there is a problem, and that problem is called non-disjunction. So I think I will not go forward with this. So I will probably stop today with this. So next class we will talk about how from the zygote. Of course, we talked about mitosis. How the different parts of your body is produced. How hand is produced, leg is produced, the different liver, organ, kidney, other things are produced from the single cell. So what the problem happens? What are the things happens? That's one thing. And we will also talk about, you know, there's an emerging field called stem cell biology from there. So I'll give some maybe time, 5 minutes. If you have any questions, certainly I'll try to answer. But I hope the last part. So most of you should remember this. This is a take-home message. So today's take-home message is two things. This is one thing. This is very much important for your guys' lives. Okay, for future. You have to remember this. Don't forget this thing. And the second thing, initially I told you the use of antibiotic. If you can recollect, remember how the first discovered antibiotic, penicillin, how it works, and the gram staining. So before taking any antibiotic, you must see what antibiotic you are taking, and then you think, oh, how it works. There are many ways antibiotic can work, but at least you will have some understanding now, and you can, by looking at the antibiotic, you can guess how it works. You can ask the doctor, okay, and you can challenge the doctor if something happens. So some minimum knowledge at least you should have. Okay, so questions, guys. If you have any questions, ask me.
Sir, you said that for the Down syndrome, I mean, if the female is above some age, then
Yes.
it happens. Is the same thing also probable if the
male? Yes,
male is above
Yes.
some certain age?
Yes, male is also have same issues, but quite less, quite less. So it has been reported the oogenesis will be little more problematic over age. Of course, spermatogenesis is also getting problematic, but if you compare both, whatever statistics now is available, yes, oogenesis is much more problematic than the spermatogenesis. Certainly, yes, females also will be more affected. And I mean, regions are very well dissected out. I mean, how it happens, why it's female, is very well understood because of the problem. I mean, today's Western country, in our country, is still less problematic. Today's Western country, this is a serious issue. You will find out many big guys, many big guys, very famous guys, their childs are like this. I mean, India, there are many big industrialists I know. Their childs are like this. In India, there are many big industrialists. They have child with a serious problem, and then they make charitable trust, donating money to understand, and so on. Okay. Any other question?
Sir, may you please upload these slides?
Sure. After my class, I'll upload the full slides. I think in this section, even to my next class also, all together are there. So I'll upload after this class.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any others? Otherwise, I'll close.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, could you give us some rough idea regarding our next test?
Next test. Oh, wow. I think you had a exam just I think 17th, right? February. It's MCQ type question, right?
Yes, sir. Last week we had one test.
Yeah, so pretty similar test it will be happening. One MCQ like test, and that will only cover from today's class, not the whatever is happened. So from today's class, I think there will be total 5 classes. Okay, I guess. So I'll take 4 classes, and the last class will be again taken by Dr. Sommo. We will talk about genetic engineering. So total 5 classes, and there will be exam of MCQ type. Probably at the end, I'm not sure, still this is not finalized, but there will be a last exam probably. So we are waiting for the instruction. It might be happening, it might not happen, but I think so far you can think there will be a final written exam. Okay, where you might have MCQ type and some kind of other question. You will get updates soon, but there will be definitely MCQ type questions. जैसे तुम एग्जाम दिया whatever way you gave exam, that is must. But other than that, there will be another question probably, which include MCQ and other kind of question, but mostly short type questions, not lengthy question. Okay, probably next week. So we are also waiting for the administration because it's so frequently changing the rules. Based on your guys' feedback, probably sometimes a lot of different feedback comes, so things are changing over time. So I hope by next week or by sometimes we will know details, rules and regulation. Hope you got it right. Any other?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So we can exit. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.